What's up, welcome back to Nostalgia. Dave here with a review of Lil Tecca's third album, TEC. Yes, Tecca is back with his best album to date, and I didn't necessarily see this coming, but I'm very happy with how this turned out and the very warm reception Lil Tecca is getting from his fans because a little stop and go with Lil Tecca with the last few releases. Debut album Virgo World was a big disappointment to me. His second album, We Love You Tecca, from 2021, also very, very lackluster to me. And I started having my doubts about Lil Tecca's, viability as an artist. Lest we forget, back in 2019, he dropped the absolute smash hit Ransom, up to 1.2 billion streams on Spotify right now, a song he dropped when he was only 16. Now, Lil Tecca is only 21. 3 albums, one mixtape later. Yet he's had like a decent chunk of a career already, right? But I was having a lot of doubts that he was going to replicate the success of Ransom and some of the other songs off that debut We Love You Tecca tape, just because I was hearing diminishing returns and really just, I think, uninspired music on the other projects. But this third album, TEC, though, is very inspired and also really fun to listen to. I think what I didn't expect about this more than anything is that the production is a huge standout on TEC. The transitions from song to song, this intentional sequencing and conception of the production of TEC goes such a long way. I mean, right off the bat, track 3 Gist, the way that ends into track 4, 500 Pounds, one of the singles, the synths hitting, and then the bass hits over the synths when the new song starts. It sounds incredible. He basically does the same trick again with real discussions into Dead or Alive. And it's the type of transition that's so seamless, you actually don't quite realize the song has switched over unless you're watching it happen, checking the screen and whatnot. And I think I just really love the craft behind this. So again, shout out the producers, shout out the engineers, shout out Tecca for uh, being this intentional with everything. And in terms of the actual music, I think TEC, he gives you, I think, a lot of variety from him, which is not something I was saying with the more recent projects. In general, I think this is just a big step up. You know, um, I mean, just right off the bat, right? Like 500 pounds. I think that shit's just really good. Beat hits. Tekka's fun. Tekka, what we know about him, how he raps, right? He's got that melodic, sing-songy flow down. That is his bag. That is why Ransom is such a hit, such an earworm, right? But obviously, he's not reinventing the wheel with his sound or anything on this, but he's giving you different spins on that sound, and I think that's what stands out to me. I think like songs like TEC, songs like Salty, these are fun beats, almost a little cartoony, almost a little twinkly, just kind of a different little vibe for Tekka as he's on there. I think Dead or Alive is probably my favorite track though, just because this is kind of a rage beat. This is a yeet beat, and Tekka kind of bringing his voice register actually up a little bit on this song. His flow just fits this and giving you these quick punchlines. I think it's just really fun, really catchy song. You Don't Know TEC, the 808s are hitting on that. Another quick tempo one, just a fun flow from Tekka. Um, Monday to Sunday, I think that's another fun one. Tripping on You though, that one I think stands out because that one's a slower tempo, a bit silkier, a bit softer from Tech, like a gentler kind of delivery. But I think that works as kind of a switch up type idea there. Um, yeah, I was not expecting to like love or even really like a Tech album in 2023 just because it had been a minute, right? Like I'm a big fan of Ransom, I'm a big fan of Shots and Did It Again and Love Me, but those are all songs from 2019. I like Dolly from Virgo World, but I kind of like that because it had an old ass Uzi feature on it. He really impressed me with this, and he comes across as, I think, a really likable guy, down to earth. So does a lot of home recording versus doing stuff in studio. Also seems to be pretty hardworking. Said he's like multiple projects ahead of this one already. So I'd say I'm all the way back in on Lil Tecca, who's still only 21 years old and already has, of course, a 4 times platinum hit to his name. So yeah, shout out Lil Tecca. Like I think this was a really, I don't want to say it was really tight. Like I could have lost a few tracks on this, but overall I think it was fun. There was variety on this, and again the production and the sequencing, the transitions really stand out, and more than anything communicate to you that this is an intentional, thoughtful artist. You know, 2 features on Tech are artists I consider a lot less thoughtful. Ken Carson, especially, didn't really care for that song, fell in love. And also Heaven on Earth with Kodak Black, which is getting a pretty warm reception. I think the song's okay, but I've never been a Kodak guy. Um, I really just cared for the stuff that was just Tekka. But let me know, how did you feel about Lil Tecca's third album, Tech? Do you agree that this is his best overall project to date? What do you want to hear from Lil Tecca next? And for more rap reviews, more music reviews, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.